What did you see that you definitely weren't supposed to see? A Craigslist ad open on my father's laptop explaining that he is an excellent cocksucker. Pretended I never even saw that, hoping I would forget. Almost didn't post it here for the same reason. And is this ad running now? Okay, non-NSFW1. I was waiting in a condo apartment lobby. I asked the concierge for the Wi-Fi password. She was not good with computers and just turned her screen to show a text file that had every important password and key code for the building. I am talking, router password, boiler room key combination, package room door code, security camera server password, their concierge email login, everything. Because she didn't want to read out each letter, she let me take a picture of it. This is definitely literal NSFW. HR at my last job accidentally sent out a list of everyone's home address, phone number, email, and if they were coming back after the layoff. Boss's assistant once emailed a spreadsheet out to the team with some sales figures or something. But there was a second tab which for some reason had everyone's salaries disclosed. Then there was the old, I withdraw this email, message which of course drew everyone's attention to it. A text message on my dad's phone to an unsaved number saying that he would love to be spending Christmas with his real family. I was 13. I just wanted to play Snake, man. Edit. I am dumbfounded. I woke up to this comment section having absolutely exploded, and I don't really know what to say. The outpouring of support and love is so appreciated, through comments and messages. The people who have shared with me their similar childhoods, I feel for you. Thank you all so much. Whoa. I think there needs to be more. What happened? When I was 11 I saw another kid shit in a urinal and after he was done he saw me staring at him and literally pissed his pants. Task failed successfully. Close-up photo of, probably, my dad's asshole while I was scrolling through his iCloud photos looking for a different picture. I think it had something to do with his upcoming rectal exam. Nothing was wrong with it visually but the realization of what I was looking at was absolutely horrifying. Part of my soul shriveled up and died. As a dad, I'm gonna go ahead and snap a photo of my anus as a preemptive punishment for going through my phone. My sister discovered that someone had searched pregnant erect nipples on the home computer. My dad and I both denied it, and we were the only two males in the house. It wasn't me. I wasn't the one looking at pregnant erect nipples. Because if you can't believe a man named Cumslap 420, who can you believe? Human bones in the bottom of a cenote in the Yucatan of Mexico. Dad told me to STFU and not swim in that area anymore. On the one hand, yikes. On the other hand, that's some fascinating grim history. I was at a friend's house when I was a kid. We were doing crafts on the front porch and I needed tape for something. I ran to the backyard to go ask her mom for some, and when I walked through the pool fence gate, I saw her mom giving her dad a BJ on the lounge chair. I couldn't look her dad in the eyes after that. Most awkward experience I've ever had. Edit. To answer common questions, yes, I did get the tape. I wasn't leaving without it. We had a serious project on the go. It was imperative I got the tape. Also, I couldn't look at the dad because I saw his privates and we made eye contact while her mom was a little preoccupied lol. When I was about 14 my friends and I were walking past a house when I saw a guy going down on a lady in their living room. Told my friends and we looked and giggled, then one of my friends went up to the window and banged on it and we ran away. One time I was up late at night scrolling Facebook at the same time as my drunk and high off Xanax married mother who was an entire time zone away at the time. She was messaging an old fling from high school while her husband was away at work and was sending him close-up pictures of her vagina. How I know this is because she didn't send them via Messenger, she posted them on her actual Facebook page. I had to call her in the middle of the night in her zonked-out stupor to get her password to delete pictures of vagina off her own Facebook page. Thoughts and prayers. When I was 6, I didn't know how to spell soccer but I wanted to learn how to play. When I got home, I went on the computer and tried to go to soccer.com. Huge porn site at the time. 2 girls, 1 World Cup. I was helping my grandma with dementia walk to the toilet. I got her situated and turned around to give her some privacy to do her business. I hear her giggling, turn back around and she has her shirt off and was tapping her saggy boobs so they flopped back and forth. Okay granny, enough titty fun time. Roll M back up and get to shittin'. A photo clearly intended for my mom of my dad naked with a few of his friends all holding paper in front of their dicks that had happy birthday, name, on 'em respectively. So basically, all those dudes have fucked your mom? I'm a teacher and was helping my student, 13-year-old boy, try and troubleshoot his Chromebook and get it working again. I always clear the cache and cookies because that usually helps, but because they are school computers you can't clear the history. As I opened up the tab to clear the cache and cookies, I see that his latest Google search was how to kiss. He knows I saw it. He looked so embarrassed. I am so glad we're wearing masks so he couldn't see me trying so hard not to laugh. ETA. I laughed because it was so unexpected and he definitely didn't want a teacher or any adult really to know he was trying to learn how to kiss. It was just really wholesome. Or, in a thread with as horrifying stuff as this one has, that feels so sweet and wholesome. My neighbor was grounded to her room and my buddy and I were in my backyard and talking to her through her window. We were going to try and get her attention but we realized her mom was in the living room masturbating lol. You didn't actually tell her what you saw in the living room, did you? Once when I was 14 my dad was working as a handyman after being laid off by his company and taking odd jobs for friends and family members. He would hire me and pay me a day's work with lunch to come be his work partner, kind of a father-son bonding moment, in hindsight. Anyways, one day we were working at my dad's cousin's house remodeling the master bathroom and in plain sight, on the bed was a giant dildo that we both had to pass in order to get to the bathroom. For an entire 8 hours in an empty house me nor my father acknowledged the family dildo. Family dildo you say? My grandparents were both a bit deaf. I was downstairs prepping dinner and called out to them. No response. I placed their plates on a tray instead and walked upstairs to their room, their door half open. Saw my fully naked grandma riding my fully naked grandpa like they have no aches and pains. It's weird, like normally they do everything in slow-mo. Apparently not. Okay, a silver lining here is I was expecting them to be dead and then they're just fucking smiley face. My grandpa sleeping sitting straight up with a remote control balanced on his head. I love this the most because I wonder why you feel it was a forbidden sight. My Spanish teacher with my geography teacher in underwear in her empty classroom. Quote, ... And I saw one of the babies and the baby looked at me. After work one night, my buddy wants to have some beers and play some video games. I ended up getting done before him, so he tells me to grab a case and go to his house and his dad will let me in. So I stop at the beer store and head over. I get to his house and before I get a chance to knock, I can hear people having sex. It was so ridiculously over the top, I thought it was his dad watching porn. I could hear the woman saying stupid shit like, "Fuck my ass with your huge cock." Just screaming. The dude was like, "Yeah. Take it baby. Wooey." It was hilarious. Anyway, I figured his dad was watching porn, so instead of knocking, I waited in my car for a bit. My buddy shows up and asks what I'm waiting for. I told him I think his dad is jerking off in the living room because I can hear the porn. He's like FFS. So we go in expecting his dad to quickly jump up and pretend he was watching hockey or something, but nope. His dad was giving some lady a professional fucking. Guy had his hat on backwards and still had his boots and socks on. No pants. Haha, like, did you take your pants off and put your boots back on? WTF is even that? Anyway, she ended up being an escort. His dad was embarrassed. We were all embarrassed. But it was funny. You know a man is fucking when he flips his hat around for more aerodynamics. About 5 years old, woke up to the snow finally starting to melt. Notice a girl, asleep, in the garden. Went and told my dad, he took one look and told me to go play in my room. Turns out girl had been, asleep, in our front garden for about 2 weeks buried and frozen under the snow. Okay, follow up on this. I didn't know she was dead until I was about 16 when I mentioned it to my dad. Remember that girl asleep in the garden? Dad. She was dead you idiot. As far as I know she was like late teens early 20s. We lived in a pretty rough area, lots of drugs etc. She had probably been out partying, sat on our garden wall and passed out. I do not know exact cause of death or toxicology report. When I was 18, I was pulling an all-nighter trying to finish an English project when I decided to take a break and grab a can of Coke from the kitchen. While walking there, I passed the living room and saw my father screwing his friend's wife on the couch. I turned right the fuck around and decided tap water from the bathroom would suffice. Didn't have air conditioning in my room growing up, so on those hot summer nights that bathroom tap water was a blessing. I walked in on my sister taking nudes. I wanted to put bleach on my eyes. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes and awards, kind strangers. Could be worse, bro. I walked in on my sister masturbating. Arm grabbing the headboard and hips in the air. I'll never understand how someone can have the confidence to do that with the door open. My mom and sister were on vacation, so it was me and my dad home alone. It was past my bedtime or whatever, but I couldn't sleep, so I went downstairs to see what my dad was doing. As I'm going down, I see across my living room the silhouette of a woman walking by. I only saw it for a split second. So my dad came running towards me like, "Hey buddy, how's it going? Give me a hug." He held me back so I couldn't get past him to see who it was. I was hysterical because I thought it was my sister and they were playing a trick on me or something. My dad was quick to tell me, "Oh, you thought you saw a ghost? Let's call your mom and tell her you thought you saw a ghost." Years later, my mom finds out my dad's been cheating and now he's married to her. That guy sucks. Or this one made me sad. Found out my karate teacher and his wife are into cuckolding, i.e. he let other men, mostly black guys, sleep with his wife. Saw a picture online of her getting spit roasted by two black guys, faces blurred, and instantly recognized the room they were at. Yep, it's the same room we're having our karate lessons. Edit. Gee, this blew up. It was in their basement. Wife is definitely a MILF. Think Jennifer Coolidge, Stifler's mom. No, that was a picture of a karate lesson. You're just not ready to learn those techniques yet. When I was in high school, I used to spend a lot of time exploring abandoned buildings. One time I was in a hospital. The top levels were all vandalized beyond recognition, but the basement was untouched. I assume because people were too creeped out or because half the building collapsed, so maybe the risk kept people away. I was dumb though, so I went down. All the paperwork was still on the desks, prescriptions laying around, names, addresses, phone numbers. I was honestly amazed that all that information was just left. It felt weird because I really wasn't interested in any of it, but I couldn't stop filing through rooms of paperwork untouched for years. It was just a weird compulsion because I knew I wasn't supposed to ever see any of that stuff. Reminds me of finding lore in games. Is this info gonna help you later on? No, but I'll be damned if I don't read every last one. So much cheating. In HS, I walked in on the manager of the cafe I worked in, feeling up the assistant manager. I'd gone down to the office to tell him his wife and daughter were upstairs. When I was 8, we were at my dad's colleague's house for brunch, and I went outside to find my dad and caught him kissing his colleague. Turned out we were there because they'd already been caught, and for whatever fucking reason, my parents thought that all hanging out together would fix things. The next thing I knew, my dad's colleague was like, giving me a toy to shut me up, but I didn't quite get that. And spilled the beans the minute I was back inside. My parents stayed together, and then my mom caught him with the same colleague 4 years later, because he's not very tech savvy, and recorded half of a phone call with her about their ongoing affair, on the answering machine. And then she was my stepmom for 10 years, and that was really not fun. Walked in on my best friend's girlfriend fucking some rando in their apartment while they were both supposed to be out of town, and I was dropping by to water the plants. Admittedly, at like 2 a.m. after having been out drinking all night, but I had permission and a key, and she absolutely knew my presence was a possibility. Rando threatens that he's a high-powered lawyer, and I'm like, bro. And then he threatened to kick my ass for breaking in and scaring him, or something, but I'm just laughing hysterically at this asshole trying to threaten me in his situation. So I did the most dickish and smartest drunk thing I've ever done, and took a photo, with the flash, truly a Kodak moment, told her she had a week to tell my friend or I would. Old friend's mom made a video diary about cheating on his dad with multiple men, and left it in a box with all of our BMX tapes. One day I borrowed all the tapes for a school project. Yeah. Same friend getting pegged by someone who was not his girlfriend. Ironically, when I was cheated on, I did not walk in on it. Your life is some weird MTV reality show from the early 2000s. My manager finger blasting the older cashier in the canned goods pantry. Edit to clarify. This was a bowling alley. I was a cook and had already closed and cleaned, but after I had clocked out and gone to my car, I forgot I was told I could take the leftover Martinelli's apple cider from our New Year's Eve bash earlier that week. Walked in to grab it, and there they were. I was trying to piece together which hole the canned goods pantry was for far too long before realizing that it was where it was happening, not to what lol. I was sitting on a futon watching TV in my dorm room next to my buddy. He was snapping his GF and I look over and he just opened up a pic of her vajayjay she sent him out of the blue. I turn away instantly. He peeks over at me and I say, "Man, this show crazy." I think I fooled him. I like to think you were watching something really mundane like an HGTV type lol. I once saw my Christmas presents early. See, the thing about Reddit is that I can go from reading about a guy who indirectly caused his mother's death, to this. Was looking for a video I shot on vacation on my dad's phone. Found my stepmom's nudes in the process. Why is my most liked Reddit comment about seeing my stepmom's tits? I fucking hate this app, man. How was the nut? When I was 13-ish, I went into our computer room just in time to finish seeing my dad send an email that said, "I love you," and some other stuff to a woman that wasn't my mom. He tried to cover my eyes and act like he was joking around. I promptly left and went back a while later. I tried getting in his email but he had changed the password. We all knew it because his email was used to log into a lot of stuff by the family. I never told my mom. Few years later, he divorced my mom and she asked me for help getting proof of him cheating from the laptop he had also used. I found graphic Craigslist messages that he had sent and received. Just gonna add a PSA here to parents: don't fucking ask your child to do this. Take it to a goddamn PC shop and save your child the emotional and mental scars.
Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.